Okay, so the wave at Imsouane, it's a right-hand point break. Apparently Africa's longest wave. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard. It's really crowded. We've gone and marvelled at the number of people there. We've taken photos, brought it back and had a look on our computers because you can't count when people are in the water because everyone's moving. 100 to 150 people in the water at any one time. Most of them learners. Now, that's frustrating enough, but unfortunately, no one has any manners here. Everyone's dropping in on each other all over the place. You'll see 5, 6, 8, 10 people on one wave. They think that's normal because that's what they're being taught. I think that's actually being driven and led by the locals. The rules here are whatever the locals say at any point in time. Now, I completely agree with the scenario. For a place like this, Saladita was the same. In a place where the wave is crowded with tourists, if the local gets the wave, they can drop in on people. That's okay. I get that. I understand that. You don't drop in on locals. I get that. I understand that. I'm being pretty careful to not do that. I have no problem with, adjusting the rules for a place like this to the locals. The bit that I do have a problem with is when the locals encourage their students or push their students in when they're instructing, push their students into collisions. And I had a young woman on a lesson. From my camera, I can't see anyone pushing her into the wave, but she was so much a beginner, I don't know if she could have paddled herself into that wave. Anyway, she collided with me. Our leg ropes got entangled and we're on the inside and there's a set coming through. So I was pretty mad at that. It was just so stupid. If you're coming to Imsouane and you're gonna have a surf lesson, for God's sake, watch some YouTube videos and learn what is dropping in. Don't do it because it's not only it's bad manners, it's potentially really dangerous. I'm gonna show you why. That's why. That fin, you don't want to get tumbled around with a board with a fin like that, and that's just a normal fin on a normal longboard. It's going to hurt you, it's going to cut you, you could lose an eye. It's a safety issue. Don't drop in on people because you don't want to cause a collision and get tumbled around with that. And over the years, I have had some pretty nasty injuries. The worst one in my groin, which meant I couldn't walk properly for weeks from colliding with surfboards in the surf. So it's a safety issue, people. You would not think of learning to drive, getting a car, maybe going and getting a lesson and having no idea about road rules before you got in the car and went out into traffic. Because a lot of moving cars around on the roads all together at the same time, it's really obvious that if you go out there and have no regard whatsoever to road rules, you're going to cause an accident and you could potentially get hurt yourself and potentially hurt other people. So why would you do that in the surf? This surf etiquette is primarily for safety, but also good manners. Don't go out into the surf and have a surf lesson if you've got no idea of the rules. I'll put a link to Kyle Brock's really excellent video telling you what dropping in is so you know how to avoid it in my description box just down below. Well, it's gonna happen here anyway, but if you're gonna drop in on someone, make sure there's a really good distance between you and that person. Don't do it when they're really close, like within say just a meter, 2 or 3 meters, and don't do it on someone who obviously knows what they're doing because they're going to go really fast down that line. They might look like they're quite a distance from you as you start to paddle into the wave. By the time you pop up, they're going to be right there and you're going to have a collision. So don't do that. It's a really frustrating wave because of the crowds, but to be honest, it's just downright dangerous. I've been in about 3 collisions so far. The rules here are whatever the locals say at the time they say it, that's how it works. At first I thought everyone was pretty chill out here, but no, not really, and it is dangerous and I've had a few collisions. I've also had instances where I want to go for a wave, but I turn around and I'm paddling for it and there's so many people in front of me. I can't do it. The crowd is just literally too dense to actually catch a wave. So we've been getting out and getting into the water at 7 a.m. at first light before dawn to try and get maybe the first half hour or so before it starts to get crowded, but there's lessons in the water at 7:30 and 8 a.m. It's always crowded. It's like the road rules here in Morocco. It's just a general guideline, really, that people might be aware of, but generally they're just not going to pay any attention to. There's no surf etiquette, no rules out here, and it's chaos. It's absolute chaos. I would not be having a surf lesson here because the instructors really don't seem to have much care for the safety of their students.